Okay, so just a few days removed from the NFL draft, the Eagles recently may have leaked some of their plans for a few of their massive new additions, so will these plans pay off? Also, A.J. Brown just had his press conference after signing his massive extension, and he revealed his intense mentality as he is working extremely hard to get an edge over other guys this offseason, and he also sent a message to Philly that should have all Birds fans excited. Meanwhile, the Eagles also just made some interesting changes to the roster by letting some guys go, and on top of that, one longtime Eagle will officially not be back with the team as he just signed elsewhere in free agency. So let's talk about all that and all the other latest Eagles news, and we won't waste any time. Let's get straight into it. Alright, so let's start off by going over some recent roster moves that the Eagles just made as they let go of 4 guys to make room for some of the undrafted free agents they got coming in, with those 4 guys being defensive tackle Noah Ellis, wide receiver Griffin Herbert, defensive back Tiawan Mullen, and center Lecitus Smith. Now, none of these guys were really going to be anything for the Birds this season anyway, but it still is unfortunate for those guys to be let go, especially at this point in the offseason, so I wish them the best moving forward, but for the Eagles, these were definitely necessary moves so that they could get all the new young guys added to the roster. However, the Eagles also officially just lost one other player, and this one means a little bit more than the others. As after a 6-year run with the Philadelphia Eagles, running back Boston Scott is officially gone, with Adam Schefter reporting, quote, "Former Eagles running back Boston Scott reached agreement on a 1-year deal with the Los Angeles Rams per sources. Rams backfield now boasts Kyron Williams, Blake Corum, and Scott, amongst others." Now, while this makes sense as Scott didn't really have any sort of role in the team last year, and it looks like the Eagles have moved on at the running back position, it still just stinks to see him go. I mean, the giant killer always seemed to be effective whenever he was utilized, as he averaged at least 4 yards per carry every single year of his career, and he definitely was a fan favorite here in Philly because of how he came in with all his injuries back in the 2019 season. As the underdog practice squad 5'6" running back, ended up having a huge impact down the stretch of that season and on the Birds' run to the playoffs, and he turned himself into a nice situational back for the Birds throughout the rest of his career in Philly. And of course, he always killed the Giants, hence the nickname the Giant Killer. Now, after signing with the Rams, officially ending his Eagles tenure, Scott released a thank you post on Instagram saying, quote, "First, I want to give glory to God for using a nobody like me to inspire, encourage, and motivate others with my stories so far. Doesn't matter if you have to walk on, didn't get invited to a Senior Bowl or the Combine, with faith, the possibilities and opportunities are endless. To Mr. Lurie and Howie, thank you for taking a chance on me. This organization has changed my life. Philly is a rugged blue-collar city that is brought together by the passion people have for sports, and the environment is incredible. I went to Philly because of the opportunity, but I feel like God placed me there because the city matched my mentality and how I had to fight and scratch and claw from the bottom of the barrel. They commonly say no one likes us and we don't care, and that's something that I will take with me for the rest of my life. Through all the ups and downs, the love and the hate, I can walk away from here knowing I gave absolutely everything to you. I'm sorry you couldn't see the potential I see in myself come to life. My opportunities were limited, but I know I did my best to make the most of them. My hope is you'll get to experience it as I take this next step in my journey. Mr. Lurie, Howie Houdini, the front office, every worker, coaches, and most of all, my teammates that truly believed in me, thank you. You are a part of the story of what I've become to this day, and I ain't done yet. Appreciate you. You gotta love Boston, man, and the city of Philadelphia thanks you too for giving it your all every single time you got an opportunity, so good luck in LA, man. But now, moving on from somebody leaving to somebody who's gonna stay in Philly for a very, very long time, let's switch our focus over to A.J. Brown, as he officially just signed his new contract extension recently, and he held a press conference shortly after where he expressed his gratitude to God as well as Philly, as he essentially said that he wants to end his career in the city of brotherly love.
What's up, Eagle Nation? It's AJ Brown. I'm so glad to be here, man. Guys, when I hang my cleats up, it's going to be in that uniform right there, man. I'm so blessed, man. I'm so thankful. Ready for the upcoming season, man. Go Birds.
The video that the team put out, you said you'll hang your cleats up in this uniform. Was that a goal with this contract?
For sure. I'm not saying that's the end. I'm not like ready for it to be over with, but that's the goal. That's the goal. I think my career took off when I got here. Went to another level. And it feels right. My family's here. My girl's starting school again here. Kids here. I got teammates, and their kids. I want to grow up together. So yeah.
This is just amazing, man. Like, the fact that the Eagles can bring in a guy like AJ in a trade and it be an absolute success, and then also be able to wrap him up as an Eagle for what will be a total of 8 years when his contract is up, is just absolutely amazing, and it shows what kind of an organization the Birds are. Like, the fact that AJ wants to be here his entire career has to tell you something about both him, but also the organization. And then when you also have guys like DeVonta Smith, Landon Dickerson, Jordan Mailata, and Jalen Hurts all being here under these super long-term extensions and wanting to be Eagles for life, that just speaks speaks volumes about this organization and this team. And again, for AJ specifically, I mean, you got to give him a ton of credit because some of these people in the media and also a small portion of the fans have done their part to try and drive AJ out of town by making him out to be a diva and starting trade rumors and things like that, but he just hasn't let any of that come between him and his love for the team and the city. So AJ, thank you for staying loyal, and to the media that's always trying to say something weird about AJ, I'm sure this must be hard for you. But moving on even further, just because AJ has secured now 2 massive contract extensions, that doesn't mean that he's not going to work extremely hard to get better and get that edge over his competitors, as he said this about his mentality and work ethic this offseason during his press conference.
I have this list on my phone. I got notes where I come up with things after I watch film or I think about what I need to get better at and what I want to get better at, what I want to add to my game. Now, I'm not going to discuss, but just having that mentality each and every day to get better, you know. And I know, guys, it's not working every single day, and I know they're not working twice a day either, you know. And I'm trying to gain that edge, you know. And I think about it, and I may be able to throw it off to some people, but like I know when guys go on Friday night, they're going out. I'm gonna go work out. You know, Saturday night, they're going to go work out. I mean, they're going to party. I'm going to go work out. Like, I'm trying to get that edge, and I'm just trying to have that mentality. You know, I'm trying to gain an inch every single day.
Is it crazy for me to think that after 2 near 1,500-yard seasons, AJ's going to have the best year of his career yet in 2024? I mean, I think being in Kellen Moore's offense is going to benefit AJ a ton, and with that mentality and work ethic that he has, I just can't help but be fired up and excited for what he's about to do next year. And it's also just crazy to think that AJ's partner at wide receiver in the young star DeVonta Smith shares that exact same mentality. Speaking of which, AJ also talked about their relationship as well, and pretty much he said all the same things that Smitty said during his press conference earlier this offseason, saying that he loves playing with DeVonta, he's great friends with him, and he's excited for what's to come, specifically saying that, quote, the sky is the limit as far as to what him and Smitty can accomplish in their time together with the Birds. And just speaking of AJ and Smitty, they were a huge part of a series of moves that the Eagles made that has been brought back to light recently. As with the 2024 NFL Draft now being over, the Eagles and Colts Carson Wentz trade has been officially complete, and I gotta say, this might end up being one of the greatest series of trades of all time by the Eagles and Howie Roseman, as after swapping Wentz for just a 2021 third-round pick and a 2022 conditional second-round pick that eventually went on to become a first, the Eagles were able to take those assets, package them with other assets that they already had, and use them to acquire even more capital and make different moves. And now that the trade is all said and done and all the draft picks have been put in, Howie Roseman essentially was able to land DeVonta Smith, AJ Brown, Jalen Carter, and now Cooper DeJean as a result of the Wentz trade, which, even though the trade wasn't straight up and many subsequent moves were made after the fact, it's still just absolutely incredible that Howie was able to pull this off. And if this doesn't convince you that he's the best GM in sports right now, then I really don't know what will. Now, obviously the most unknown of those guys that the Birds landed in the sequence of trades is Cooper DeJean, or Cooper DeJean as many Philly fans have started calling him, and I'm really just excited to see what he becomes as well as the other rookies. Speaking of which, one of the Eagles' most interesting rookies is their 6th round 6'7" wide receiver in Johnny Wilson, as his unique size and length offers a very interesting dynamic for the Eagles offense at the wide receiver position, as he obviously can be a down the field threat as a jump ball receiver, as well as an obvious mismatch against smaller defensive backs, and he can also be a pretty great red zone target if utilized correctly. However, some people have speculated that he could be moved to tight end at the NFL level because of his size, but both Howie Roseman and Nick Sirianni seem to shut down that idea during their post-draft press conference.
Yeah, I think, he can run the full route tree, and so I think a lot of times you do that when guys don't have the lower body flexibility to get in and out of their breaks. We don't see that with Johnny, so that's gonna be the same answer you would have said.
Yeah, all his production's coming on the outside, running outside routes, and so really looking forward to working with him there at the wide receiver position.
He's what's the word?
He's unique. He's unusual.
Yeah,
he's unusual.
I just absolutely love that because, again, I think Wilson's height offers a very unique dynamic and also a threat at the wide receiver position that's very hard to find. So I'm just interested to see how Wilson looks in rookie minicamp, OTAs, and eventually training camp, and whether or not he can carve himself out a role in his rookie year. And in addition to Wilson, it seems like the Eagles have also leaked some of their potential plans for another one of their new players, as Jeff Mosher of Inside the Birds says that the Eagles may try their newly acquired offensive tackle Mekhi Becton at the guard position, and in that case, he could potentially be a candidate to start at right guard. So I think that's definitely really interesting, and honestly, I'm not quite sure if I like that very much. because the whole reason why I loved the Mekhi Becton signing in the first place was because it gave us depth at tackle and also a guy with a ton of potential at that position that if Jeff Stoutland can develop, could maybe even become Lane Johnson's long-term replacement. Plus, Becton has also only ever played tackle at the NFL level and has definitely showed some promise there, but on the other hand, he has also definitely struggled a lot, with last year being terrible for him as he lit up 12.5 sacks, so maybe a switch to guard could be what he needs? I don't know. I mean, I personally still like Becton as a backup swing tackle and someone for the Eagles to try and develop into a starter eventually, and I'd honestly just rather see Tyler Steen or the new draftee Tyler Keegan get the nod at right guard, but what do you guys think? Alright, so I'm going to be continuing to cover the Eagles throughout the rest of this entire offseason, so if you don't want to miss any of that, make sure you subscribe, and also really importantly, turn on notifications so you're notified instantly when one of these videos is uploaded, and also while you're at it, make sure you drop a like to show some support, and leave a comment down below regarding anything that I talked about in this video, and if you want to watch another video going more in-depth on the Mekhi Becton signing, as well as other news, you can check this out right here. And now with all that being said, that's pretty much all I got for this one, guys, so thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.